The transport ships broke through the clouds like falling stars. Inside the lead vessel, Commander Reith gripped the support rail as the craft shuddered through Earth's thick atmosphere. Around him, 5,000 Halcyon soldiers stood in perfect formation, their dark armor gleaming under the red emergency lights. 30 seconds to touchdown, the pilot announced through the speakers. Reith had led 17 successful planetary conquests. This would be his 18th. The scans showed primitive technology below, scattered military forces, no unified planetary defense grid. The humans would surrender within days, maybe hours. The Halcyon Empire needed new territory, new resources, and Earth offered both in abundance. The landing zone was a large, green space in the center of a human city called New York. Millions of inhabitants surrounded the area. Perfect for a show of force? Let them see Halcyon might firsthand. Let them understand resistance was futile. 10 seconds. Reith's second officer, Kalen, checked his weapon one final time. Sir, the atmospheric readings are still unusual. The oxygen content is higher than expected. Noted, Reith said. Our suits will compensate. Remember your training. The ship touched ground with a heavy thud. Through the viewport, Reith saw human vehicles approaching, small craft with flashing lights. Laughable defense measures. The rear door began to open with a hydraulic hiss, revealing bright sunlight and strange organic smells. Forward! Reith commanded. He stepped out first, as tradition demanded. His boots hit solid earth. Something felt wrong immediately. The air felt thick, pressing against his suit. Each breath seemed to drag into his lungs with unexpected force. He took another step forward. The weight hit him like a physical blow. His legs trembled. Around him, soldiers poured out of the transport, weapons ready, moving into tactical formation. Then the first soldier collapsed. Then another. Within seconds, dozens of elite warriors were falling to their knees. Gasping inside their helmets, Reith tried to move forward, but his muscles screamed in protest. The gravity was crushing him. How could this be? The planet measured only slightly higher than Halcyon. They had trained in double-gravity environments. This should be manageable, but it was not just gravity. His vision blurred. His lungs burned despite the suit's oxygen supply. Around him, the entire first wave was collapsing. Soldiers who had conquered worlds, who had fought in the harshest battle conditions, were dropping like insects exposed to poison. Through his fading vision, Reith saw humans approaching. They walked normally, easily, across ground that was crippling his strongest warriors. A female human in a white coat knelt beside a fallen Halcyon soldier. She held some kind of medical scanner. Her movements were quick, efficient, completely unaffected by conditions that were destroying an invasion force. Medical emergency, Reith gasped into his communicator. All units. Requesting immediate ... extraction. The last thing he saw before darkness took him was a human child, no more than 6 or 7 years old, running past the fallen soldiers playing with some kind of toy, running, playing, in an environment that had defeated 5,000 elite troops in under 3 minutes, across the planet. 4 other landing sites told the same story. Tokyo, Mumbai, London, Sao Paulo, 15,000 Halcyon soldiers lay incapacitated, struggling to breathe, unable to stand, their invasion plans shattered before a single shot was fired. In orbit above Earth. The remaining Halcyon fleet received the reports with growing horror. Medical Officer Siren reviewed the data streaming from the surface. Commander Reith is alive but unconscious. So are most of the troops. The suits are failing. Multiple system malfunctions. The electromagnetic interference is beyond anything in our database. Fleet Admiral Torvin stared at the blue and green planet below. How? Our intelligence said this was a weak world. Pre-contact species. Primitive defenses. The planet itself is the defense, Siren said, her voice shaking. Look at these numbers. The atmospheric pressure is crushing them. The oxygen concentration is toxic at these levels for extended exposure. And there's something else. Biological readings show millions of microscopic organisms in every breath. Their immune systems cannot handle it. Then send reinforcements with better equipment, Torvin ordered. We cannot retreat from primitives. Sir, I do not think you understand. Those humans walking around our fallen soldiers, they breathe that air naturally. They live in that gravity from birth. Their bodies fight those organisms every second of every day. This is not a primitive world. This is a death world. And somehow they evolved to master it. Down on Earth's surface, Dr. Rachel Kim finished her preliminary examination of the alien soldier. His biology was fascinating but fragile. His homeworld must have been gentle, easy, nothing like the harsh conditions that forged humanity. She looked up at the massive transport ship, at the fleet hanging in orbit, and felt an unexpected emotion, not fear, not anger. Something closer to pity. These aliens had traveled across the stars to conquer Earth. They had technology humanity could barely imagine. But they had made one fatal mistake. They had assumed that because humans lacked advanced weapons, they were weak. They had not considered what kind of species could thrive on a planet that killed visitors within minutes. General Brooks approached, surrounded by armed soldiers. Doctor, what is their status? Alive, Rachel said. But they need immediate medical help. Their bodies cannot handle our environment. Without treatment, they will die. They came here to invade us. Yes, Rachel agreed. And Earth defeated them. Now we have a choice. Let them die, or show them what humanity really means. Brooks looked at the fallen aliens, then at his soldiers, then back at the doctor. Finally, he nodded. Save them. All of them. Rachel pulled out her radio. I need medical teams at all 5 landing sites. Bring antibiotics, oxygen regulators, and pressure stabilizers. We have 15,000 patients who just learned the hard way why Earth was left alone. Medical tents covered Central Park like white mushrooms after rain. Rachel moved between patients, checking vital signs, adjusting oxygen levels, watching alien soldiers fight for every breath. 3 days had passed since the invasion attempt. 3 days of humanity racing to save the lives of those who came to conquer them. Her current patient, a young Halcyon soldier named Pyron, struggled to sit up. The reduced pressure chamber around his bed hummed softly, creating an artificial environment closer to his homeworld conditions. Stay down, Rachel said gently. Your body needs rest? How? Pyron whispered, his translator device crackling. How do you live like this? Rachel smiled tiredly. We grew up here. Our bodies adapted over millions of years. What feels normal to us is extreme to most species, apparently. Across the tent, her colleague David was treating another soldier for a bacterial infection. Something common on Earth, harmless to humans, but devastating to Halcyon immune systems. They had discovered that Earth's microbial diversity was unprecedented. Billions of years of evolution had created an ecosystem so competitive, so aggressive that alien biology had no defense against it. Dr. Kim? A military aide approached. The UN requests your presence at the emergency summit. They want your assessment of the situation. Rachel looked at the rows of sick aliens. Tell them I'm busy saving lives? They said it's urgent. The Halcyon fleet is preparing to send a second wave. Enhanced environmental suits. More soldiers. Rachel felt her stomach drop. That's insane. More will just die. That's why they need you to explain it to the council. 2 hours later, Rachel stood in a conference room facing diplomats from 50 nations. General Brooks sat to her right. Ambassador Patricia Hughes, leading Earth's response, sat at the head of the table. Dr. Kim, Patricia said, tell us plainly. Can they survive here? With constant medical support, yes, Rachel answered. But they'll never be combat effective. The gravity alone reduces their strength by 60%. The atmospheric pressure causes chronic fatigue. And the microbial exposure means they need daily antibiotic treatments. Earth isn't just difficult for them. It's actively hostile. A Chinese diplomat leaned forward. But they have advanced technology. Surely their suits can protect them? The suits malfunction, David interjected from his video link. Earth's magnetic field is stronger than most habitable planets. It interferes with their equipment in ways they never anticipated. Their technology was designed for gentle worlds, not death worlds. Deathworld? Someone asked. Rachel pulled up a chart. In galactic terms, yes. Most spacefaring species evolved on planets with lower gravity, thinner atmospheres, and less aggressive biospheres. Earth is an extreme environment by universal standards. We just don't realize it because we've never known anything else. General Brooks stood. Which means every soldier they send down here becomes a casualty. Not from our weapons, but from our planet itself. Reports confirm the second wave is launching, an aide announced. 10,000 troops this time. Landing in 1 hour. Patricia closed her eyes briefly. Can we stop them? Not without starting a real war, Brooks said. And despite everything, they still have superior weapons in orbit. Rachel looked out the window toward the park where her patients lay. Then we prepare for 10,000 more patients. And we hope they learn before more die. The second wave landed in fields outside major cities. The troops wore improved suits with better pressure regulation and air filtration. They lasted 6 hours instead of 3 minutes. Then the suits began failing exactly as predicted. Seals degraded under Earth's atmospheric pressure. Filters clogged with microorganisms they were never designed to handle. Enhanced power supplies drained rapidly, fighting against the planet's magnetic interference. By nightfall, 10,000 more Halcyon soldiers lay incapacitated across multiple continents. In orbit. Fleet Admiral Torvin received the reports with growing dread. Medical Officer Cyrene's voice shook as she spoke. Admiral, we need to evacuate all ground forces immediately. The humans are treating them, but without extraction, the survival rate will continue dropping. Evacuate? Torvin's pride warred with reality. The Halcyon Empire does not flee from primitives. Sir, they are not primitives. They are survivors of a death world. There is a difference. Torvin stared at the planet below. 15,000 soldiers had been defeated without humanity firing a shot. The Empire's reputation was already damaged beyond repair. Continuing would only make it worse. Engineering Officer Kalen, he called. Are our soldiers capable of fighting on that planet's surface? Kellen's response was quiet but firm. No, sir. Even with perfect equipment, which we do not have, the environmental stress would reduce combat effectiveness to near zero. The humans live and work in conditions that would kill our troops within days. Another officer spoke up. Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the human government. They're requesting a parley. They dare... Torvin began, then stopped. What were they daring exactly? They had not attacked. Had not threatened. They had treated wounded enemies with care. They held all the advantages now. Except the transmission, he said finally. Ambassador Patricia Hughes appeared on screen. She stood in what looked like a medical facility, surrounded by recovering Halcyon soldiers. Admiral Torvin, I'm told you're preparing a third wave. We have not decided. Please don't, Patricia interrupted. We don't want to fight you. But you need to understand something. You've lost 15,000 soldiers not to our weapons but to our world. Sending more won't change that. Earth will defeat them just as surely. Torvin bristled. You threaten us? No, I'm trying to save lives. Yours and ours. Patricia gestured to the aliens behind her. Your soldiers are receiving the best care we can provide. But they'll never recover enough to fight here. This invasion is over, Admiral. Not because we won, but because Earth itself is unconquerable by your species. Then what do you propose? Patricia smiled. How about we talk instead? You have technology we need. We have medical knowledge you need. Maybe we can find a better way forward than war. Torvin looked at his officers. At the data showing 15,000 casualties. At the impossible planet that had humbled the mighty Halcyon Empire with nothing but gravity and germs. Send the coordinates, he said quietly. We will talk. The shuttle carried Ambassador Patricia Hughes through the darkness between Earth and the Halcyon flagship. She wore a simple suit and carried only a datapad. No weapons. No guards. Just one human diplomat heading into the heart of an alien war fleet. General Brooks had argued against it. Too dangerous, he said. They could take her hostage. But Patricia understood something the military did not. The Halcyon Empire was not defeated yet, just humbled. This meeting would determine whether they became enemies or allies. The shuttle docked with a metallic clang. The airlock opened, revealing 3 Halcyon escorts in full armor. They towered over her, easily 7 feet tall, with muscular frames built for combat. On their homeworld, they were apex predators. Here, in their own ship, they were still impressive. Patricia stepped forward confidently. The guards led her through gleaming corridors filled with advanced technology. Crew members stopped to stare at the human walking freely through their flagship. Some looked curious, others angry. All looked troubled. They entered a large conference room where Fleet Admiral Torvin waited. He stood when she entered, a gesture of respect that surprised her. Several other officers flanked him, including Medical Officer Siren and Engineering Officer Kalen. Ambassador Hughes, Torvin said formally. Thank you for coming. Thank you for agreeing to meet, Patricia replied. She noticed how easily she moved compared to them. The ship's gravity was significantly lower than Earth's. What felt normal to them was like walking on the moon for her. Please sit. Torvin gestured to a chair clearly designed for larger bodies. Patricia settled into it, trying not to show how odd the low gravity felt. You said you wanted to talk? Torvin began. So talk. Patricia activated her datapad, projecting images into the air between them. This is Earth 40,000 years ago. Ice covered much of the land. Large predators hunted in packs. Resources were scarce. Survival was brutal. She changed the image. This is Earth 20,000 years ago. Climate changing rapidly. Megafauna dying off. Humans adapting, learning, spreading across hostile continents. Another image. This is Earth 10,000 years ago. Humans building civilizations in river valleys prone to flooding, on volcanic islands, in frozen tundra, in scorching deserts. We didn't find easy places to live. We made hard places livable. Torvin leaned forward, studying the images carefully. Your species evolved on a world with 0.7 gravity, Patricia continued. Thin atmosphere. Stable climate. Minimal seasonal variation. You developed in paradise compared to Earth. When you reached space, you conquered other gentle worlds. Species similar to yourselves? Your point? Torvin asked, though his tone suggested he already understood. You've never encountered a deathworld species before. You didn't know we existed. And you tried to apply tactics that work on normal planets against an opponent forged in hell. Siren spoke up quietly. The medical data supports this. Human bone density is 40% higher than ours. Muscle fiber composition is completely different. Their immune systems are vastly more complex. Even their children have physical capabilities that exceed our elite soldiers. We're not trying to boast, Patricia said. We're trying to help you understand. Your soldiers down there aren't weak. They're normal. We're the abnormal ones. Evolution made us tough because Earth demanded it. Kalen accessed his own data. Our analysts reviewed human history. Your species has survived ice ages, plagues, volcanic winters, asteroid impacts. Events that would extinct most civilizations merely set yours back temporarily. Yes, Patricia agreed. We're very good at surviving. It's literally what we were designed for by millions of years of natural selection. Torvin stood and walked to the viewport showing Earth below. I have led 17 successful conquests. 17 worlds now serve the Halcyon Empire. I thought your world would be the 18th. Easy resources, primitive technology, quick victory. He turned back to face her. Instead, I lost 15,000 troops to gravity and germs. The Empire's reputation is damaged. My career is likely over. And I begin to suspect your planet was left alone by the galactic community for very good reasons. The Galactic Council knows about Earth? Patricia asked, surprised. Apparently. We found old survey data, classified files marked as warnings. Deathworld. Quarantine recommended. Contact forbiddance. We thought it was ancient paranoia from a more cautious era. We were wrong. Silence filled the room. Patricia let it stretch, knowing Torvin needed time to process his defeat. Finally, he spoke again. What do you want, Ambassador? Really want? Partnership, Patricia said simply. You have technology we need. Faster than light travel, advanced medicine, energy systems, manufacturing techniques. We have barely left our own planet. We need teachers. And what do we get? Survival expertise. Our medical knowledge about extreme environment adaptation. Trade goods, resources, and most importantly, an ally who can go places you cannot. Siren looked intrigued. Places we cannot? Patricia smiled. You said it yourselves. We're deathworld specialists. If the galaxy has other harsh planets with valuable resources, places too dangerous for normal species, we can work there. We can be your partners in environments you cannot survive. Torvin considered this. You would trade your greatest advantage for technology? Our greatest advantage is that we're very good at making friends with former enemies, Patricia corrected. Ask the French and British, Germans and Americans, Chinese and Japanese. We fought countless wars among ourselves, then built alliances afterward. It's what we do. Kalen laughed suddenly. You fight each other regularly? Constantly, throughout our history. Over territory, resources, ideology, religion. We're really quite violent by nature. Earth didn't just make us tough. It made us competitive. Torvin returned to his seat slowly. Let me understand. You're offering technology trade, medical cooperation, and access to extreme environments. In exchange, we withdraw all claims to Earth and establish a non-aggression treaty. And help us join the Galactic Council properly, Patricia added. With full membership, not as a protected primitive species. That will take time. The Council is bureaucratic. We're patient. We've waited this long. Torvin looked at his officers. Siren nodded slowly. Kalen shrugged. The others remained neutral, but none objected. I need to consult with the Empire's leadership, Torvin said finally. But personally, Ambassador, I think you have a deal. We came to conquer you and failed. Perhaps partnership is the wiser path. Patricia stood, extending her hand in the human gesture of agreement. Torvin stared at it for a moment, then reached out carefully. His hand engulfed hers, but she gripped firmly, feeling his surprise at her strength despite her smaller size. To new beginnings, she said. To survival, Torvin replied. Yours and ours. 6 months changed everything. The Halcyon fleet departed Earth's orbit after 3 months of negotiations, leaving behind observers, trade officials, and 15,000 soldiers who could not survive the journey home. Those soldiers became Earth's first permanent alien residents. David Foster watched the construction crews finish the new habitat complex outside Denver. The dome structures used Halcyon technology to create low-gravity zones and filtered atmosphere. Inside, the stranded soldiers could live without constant medical support. Outside, they were helpless as newborns. It's ready, his partner Yuki said, reviewing the final safety checks. Environmental systems are stable. Medical stations fully equipped. They can move in tomorrow. David nodded but felt uneasy. These soldiers had come to conquer Earth. Now they lived in protective bubbles, completely dependent on human charity. That dependence bothered him. Though he could not fully explain why. At the main medical facility, Rachel supervised the transition. Commander Reith, recovered but forever changed by his experience, met with her one final time before moving to the habitat. I wanted to thank you, Reith said quietly. You saved my life. Saved all our lives. After we came here to destroy you. We're doctors, Rachel replied. We save lives. That's what we do. Still, many species would have let us die. Used us as hostages. Your humanity showed mercy we did not deserve. Rachel considered her words carefully. Commander, can I ask you something? What happens now? Your soldiers can't leave Earth, Can't fight? Can't return home? What kind of life is that? Wreath's expression darkened. You are asking if we are prisoners or guests? I'm asking if you're okay. All of you. Mentally, emotionally. You're warriors trapped in cages, dependent on the people you tried to conquer. It is difficult, Wreath admitted. Some soldiers struggle with depression. Others with anger. We train our entire lives for combat, for conquest. Now we cannot even walk freely under an open sky. The Empire considers us casualties, lost soldiers. Our families mourn us as dead. That's horrible. It is reality. We made our choice when we landed. Now we live with consequences. Rachel wanted to help, but had no solution. The biology was immutable. Halcyon physiology simply could not adapt to Earth conditions. They would live in domes or die. There was no third option. Across the planet, similar conversations happened in 4 other habitat sites. 15,000 aliens adjusting to permanent exile. Some adapted well. Others did not. Human psychiatrists worked with Halcyon medical staff to address mental health crises. It was unprecedented territory for both species. In New York, Ambassador Patricia worked with the United Nations on the integration plan. The Galactic Council had responded to Earth's application for membership with cautious interest. They wanted observers on the planet, wanted to understand how humanity had developed without outside contact, wanted to see if the deathworld species could be civilized. Civilized, Patricia muttered, reading the official language. As if survival makes us barbarians? Her assistant, Robert, looked up from his tablet. The Galactic Council represents 47 species. Only 3 evolved on planets with gravity above 1.0. None have Earth's atmospheric density or microbial diversity. To them, we're dangerous anomalies. We're people. Just people who grew up in a tough environment. Try explaining that to species who never experienced predation, scarcity, or environmental pressure. Their evolution was peaceful. Ours was war. Patricia understood his point but disliked it. Yes, humanity was violent. Yes, Earth was brutal. But that did not make humans monsters. It made them survivors. A message came through from Torvin, now serving as Halcyon ambassador to Earth. Ambassador Hughes, we need to discuss a situation. They met via video link. Torvin looked tired, older somehow despite only months passing. What's wrong? Patricia asked. The stranded soldiers. Some want to return home despite the risks. Others want to stay but feel useless. A few have suggested forming a defense force for Earth, using their military training to protect the planet that saved them. Patricia sat back, surprised. Protect Earth? From what? From us? Torvin said bluntly. Not all Halcyon military agrees with the peace treaty. Some factions consider the withdrawal cowardly. They want to try again with better preparation, different tactics. If they come, the soldiers here could warn you, help defend against Halcyon strategies. That's treason to your empire. That's gratitude to the people who showed mercy. Ambassador, you need to understand something about Halcyon culture. We value honor above all. Our soldiers failed their mission, but you treated them as wounded warriors, not defeated enemies. That creates a debt? Some feel that debt can only be repaid through service. Patricia considered the implications. Alien soldiers defending Earth against their own species. It was complicated on every level. I'll need to discuss this with our leadership, she said finally. But Torvin, honestly, I think we'd rather find a way for your soldiers to live fulfilling lives than turn them into weapons again. They've suffered enough. I agree. But you cannot ignore military realities. The Halcyon Empire is vast, proud, and divided. Some factions will see your planet as unfinished business. You need allies who understand our tactics. The conversation ended with more questions than answers. Patricia compiled a report for the Security Council outlining the situation. The world needed to decide how to treat 15,000 aliens who wanted to help but could barely survive outside protective domes. That evening, Rachel visited the Denver habitat. She found Pyron, the young soldier she had treated first, working in the facility's garden. Halcyon plants grew under controlled conditions, reminding him of home. "How are you adjusting?" Rachel asked. Pyron looked up, his face showing the permanent fatigue all the aliens experienced. "Some days are good. Others are hard. I miss my family. Miss my homeworld. But I am alive because of you. I'm sorry you're trapped here. I am sorry we came to conquer you. Perhaps this is fair justice." Rachel sat beside him in the low-gravity zone, feeling her body lighten. "Can I ask you something?" "What do you want now?" "If you could have anything?" Pyron thought for a long moment. "Purpose. We are soldiers without a war, warriors without a battle. We need reason to be here beyond simply existing. What if you could help Earth in other ways? Not fighting, but teaching? You understand Halcyon technology, military strategy, galactic politics. We're new to all of this. You want us as advisors? I want you to have lives worth living. Whether that's teaching, building, researching, whatever gives you purpose." Pyron smiled, the first genuine smile she had seen from any Halcyon. "That would be good. To build instead of conquer? To teach instead of destroy? Maybe we can become something better than we were." "Maybe we all can," Rachel agreed. The Galactic Council chambers floated in neutral space, a massive station built by 47 species working together for 3,000 years. Patricia stood in the observation gallery, watching delegates from across the galaxy take their seats. Beings of every shape and size, some breathing oxygen, others methane, some living in water tanks, others in pure energy fields, and one human. One representative from Earth, waiting to make history. "They're ready for you," Robert whispered. He had come as her assistant, but looked more nervous than she felt. Patricia walked to the speaker's platform. Every eye, sensor, and consciousness in the room focused on her. The human, the deathworld survivor, the anomaly that worried them all. "Distinguished members of the Galactic Council," she began. "I am Patricia Hughes, representing the people of Earth. We come before you seeking full membership in the galactic community." Silence greeted her words. Then a delegate from the Velan species spoke, their voice translated through universal communicators. "Earth was designated a quarantine world. Contact was forbidden. Your development was to be observed from a distance. Why should we change centuries of policy?" Patricia had prepared for this. Because the policy was based on fear, not fact. Yes, Earth is a harsh world. Yes, humans evolved under extreme conditions. But that doesn't make us dangerous. It makes us different. A crystalline being, representing the Shen Collective, chimed in with sounds like breaking glass. "The Halcyon Empire attacked your world. Their troops collapsed. This proves our concerns were justified. You are too dangerous for integration." "The Halcyon troops collapsed because they were unprepared for our environment," Patricia countered. "Not because we attacked them. In fact, we treated their wounded, saved their lives, and offered partnership instead of revenge. Is that the behavior of a dangerous species?" Murmurs rippled through the chamber. The council had reviewed the reports, but hearing it stated plainly seemed to affect them. An amphibious delegate spoke next. "But your planet itself is a weapon. Any species attempting contact faces death by environment. How can we interact with a world that kills visitors?" "We've already solved that problem," Patricia replied, pulling up holographic displays. 5 habitat complexes currently house 15,000 Halcyon soldiers safely. We can build more. We can create safe zones for diplomatic missions, trade centers, cultural exchanges. Yes, Earth is harsh. But we're very good at building safe spaces within harsh environments. It's another survival skill." The Velan delegate persisted. "Your history shows constant warfare. Violence against your own species. Nuclear weapons. Biological weapons. Chemical weapons. You discovered faster-than-light communication by decrypting Halcyon transmissions in months, a task that should have taken decades. You are technologically primitive but dangerously intelligent." Patricia felt her patience thinning but kept her voice calm. Every species in this chamber has a violent history. You all had predators, competition, territorial disputes. You're just fortunate enough that your worlds made survival easier. Our world demanded we become tougher, smarter, more adaptable. That's not a crime. That's evolution. But you could be dangerous in the future, the crystalline Shen argued. Give humans advanced technology and they might become unstoppable conquerors. Or we might become the galaxy's best allies, Patricia shot back. We survived ice ages. We'll help species with climate problems. We defeated bacterial invasions daily for millions of years. We'll help with plague responses. We thrive in high-gravity, dense atmospheres and hostile environments. We'll work on planets you cannot even visit. We're not threats. We're resources. This caused more murmuring. Several delegates consulted with their advisors. An elderly delegate from a species called the Brennan stood slowly. They were one of the council's founders, respected across all factions. Ambassador Hughes, I have a question. If we deny your membership, what will humanity do? Patricia met their gaze steadily. We'll develop on our own. Build our own ships. Explore space independently. Make our own contacts with other species. Eventually, we'll be out here anyway. The only question is whether we join the existing community or build a separate one. That sounds like a threat. That's reality. You can't quarantine us forever. We escaped Earth's gravity. We'll escape Earth's solar system, then Earth's galaxy. You can guide that expansion or watch it happen without you. The Brennan's expression was unreadable. And you believe integration is better than isolation? I believe cooperation beats competition every time. Yes, we're tough. Yes, we're different. But we're also adaptable, creative, and eager to learn. Give us a chance. Let us prove we're more than our worst instincts. The debate continued for hours. Species raised concerns about military applications of human physiology. Others worried about cultural contamination. Some feared humans would demand special treatment due to their unique biology, but slowly, Patricia noticed a shift. The questions became less hostile, more curious. What could humans teach them about survival? How did human medicine work? Could humans really work on deathworlds that were too valuable to abandon but too dangerous to colonize? Finally, the Brennan called for a preliminary vote. We will decide whether to grant Earth provisional membership. This means a trial period of 10 years. Full integration will be reviewed based on behavior during that decade. The votes came in through the chamber's display. Patricia watched numbers climb, her heart pounding. They needed 2/3 majority. The count reached 60%, then 65%. Paused at 67%. Then the Velen delegate, who had been most opposed, changed their vote to yes. Motion passes, the Brennan announced. Earth is granted provisional membership in the Galactic Council. Welcome, Ambassador Hughes. Welcome, humanity. Patricia felt tears threaten but held them back. Professional, stay professional. Thank you, she managed. We won't disappoint you. As she left the chamber, Robert grabbed her in a hug. You did it. Earth is in the council. Provisionally, Patricia reminded him, but she was smiling. 10 years to prove humanity belonged among the stars. 10 years to show they were more than violent survivors of a death world. Back on Earth, the news spread instantly. Celebrations erupted across every continent. Humans had been alone for all of history. Now they had neighbors. The galaxy had opened its doors, however cautiously. In the Denver habitat, Commander Reith watched the broadcast with his fellow exiled soldiers. They did it, he said quietly. Your species is officially galactic now. Pyron, standing beside him, nodded. They earned it. They showed mercy to enemies, kindness to strangers. If any deathworld species deserves a place out here, it's them. What happens to us now? Another soldier asked. We're technically council members' territory. Reith smiled. We become Earth's first alien citizens. Strange, isn't it? We came to conquer them. Instead, we became part of their story. Better part than conqueror, Pyron said. Much better part. 5 years passed like water through fingers. Earth changed in ways nobody predicted. Cities built landing platforms for alien visitors. Schools taught galactic history alongside human history. Children grew up knowing they were part of something larger than one planet. Rachel walked through the expanded Denver habitat, now called Unity Station, home to 3,000 Halcyon residents and visitors from 12 other species. The original dome had grown into a sprawling complex with gardens, workshops, schools, and medical centers. Low-gravity zones connected to standard Earth areas through transition chambers. Dr. Kim, Pyring called out, waving from a classroom. He taught xenobiology now, helping human students understand alien physiology. His life had found purpose beyond warfare. Rachel joined him as students filed out. How's the new curriculum working? Excellent. These students will be the first generation of truly galactic doctors. They understand what I never did. That different doesn't mean weak. He paused. How's the new project? Rachel grinned. Come see for yourself? They walked to a research wing where David and Yuki worked with a mixed team of humans and aliens. On the screens, data flowed showing atmospheric readings, gravity measurements, and biological surveys. This is Planet Terminus 4, David explained, pulling up an image. High gravity, dense atmosphere, aggressive microbial life. The Galactic Council discovered valuable minerals there, but can't establish colonies. Too harsh for normal species. Let me guess, Pyron said. Perfect for humans? Perfect for humans, Yuki confirmed. We're sending the first expedition next month. 50 colonists. If successful, we'll establish permanent mining operations. Profits split with the council, jobs for humans, resources for everyone. It was happening across multiple fronts. Humans worked on planets others could not. Earth became the training ground for extreme environment specialists. The death world that once scared everyone was now an asset. In orbit above Earth. Ambassador Patricia met with a delegation from the Shen Collective. The crystalline beings who once feared humanity now sought partnership. Our world is dying, the Shen representative explained, their body chiming softly. Climate shift. Our scientists predict ecosystem collapse within 50 years. We need help adapting, but such expertise does not exist in the galaxy. Except here. Patricia nodded. Rachel's team has been studying your biology. We think we can help, but it won't be quick or easy. We understand. We also understand that 5 years ago we voted against your membership. We were wrong. Your species has proven itself worthy many times over. We're just doing what we're good at, surviving, adapting, helping others do the same. After the meeting, Patricia returned to Earth's surface. A message waited from Torvin, now retired from military service and living on Halcyon Prime. She opened the video link. Ambassador Hughes, Torvin greeted. He looked healthier than during the invasion years. Peaceful retirement suited him. Admiral Torvin? Good to see you? I wanted you to know. The Empire's war faction attempted another invasion vote. They failed, badly. The Council reviewed all data from Earth, your military assessments, your medical capabilities, your diplomatic success. They concluded that humanity as an ally is far more valuable than Earth as a conquest. Patricia felt relief wash over her. That's wonderful news. More than that. The Empire officially apologizes for the invasion attempt. We're proposing a mutual defense treaty. If you'll have us. I'll bring it to the UN, but I think they'll agree. We've come a long way from enemies. Indeed we have. Torvin smiled, an expression that still looked odd on his face. My grandchildren are studying human history now. They call your people the survivors. It's meant as respect. After the call ended, Patricia stood at her office window, looking out at the city below. 5 years ago, this view showed military vehicles and emergency response teams. Now it showed humans and aliens walking together, working together, living together. Her communicator buzzed. Robert's voice came through. The Galactic Council is calling. They want to discuss full membership status. Early review. Patricia's heart jumped. Early? We have 5 more years on provisional status. Apparently, several species are pushing to accelerate the process. Earth exceeded all expectations. The review took 3 weeks. The Council examined every interaction, every treaty, every joint project Earth participated in. They interviewed aliens living on Earth, humans working on other worlds, and the Halcyon soldiers at Unity Station. Commander Reith testified before the Council. I led the invasion of Earth, he said plainly. I expected victory. Instead, Earth defeated us without firing a shot. Then Earth saved us. Gave us homes, medical care, purpose. My soldiers, once conquerors, are now citizens. Earth taught us that strength isn't just physical. It's moral. They earned our respect and our loyalty. The final vote was unanimous. Earth received full membership in the Galactic Council. No more provisional status. No more probation. Humanity was officially, permanently. Part of the Galactic Community. News broadcast showed celebrations across Earth and at human colonies off-world. In Unity Station, Halcyon residents celebrated alongside humans. They had witnessed humanity's journey firsthand, from invaded planet to respected galactic power. Rachel found Pyron at the observation deck, watching fireworks over Denver. Hard to believe it's only been 5 years, she said. For my people, 5 years is brief. For yours, it's transformational. You move fast, adapt faster. It's why you'll thrive out there. We had good teachers. You, Torvin, all the aliens who trusted us when nobody else would. Pyron's expression grew serious. Dr. Kim, Rachel, can I tell you something? When I first landed on Earth, when I collapsed under your sky, I thought I was dying. I thought my life was over. In a way, it was. But a better life began. I found purpose beyond conquest, found friends beyond my species. Earth didn't just save my body. It saved who I am. Rachel felt tears forming. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said about us. It's true for thousands of us here. We came as invaders. We stayed as citizens. Only Earth could transform enemies into family so completely. Later that night, Patricia addressed the planet from UN headquarters. Billions watched across Earth and throughout the galaxy. Today, humanity achieved full membership in the Galactic Council. This journey began with an invasion, with conflict, with fear on all sides. It ends with partnership, cooperation, and hope. We proved that being from a death world doesn't make us monsters. It makes us survivors. And survivors know something important. Everyone struggles. Everyone faces challenges. Everyone needs help sometimes. We're offering that help now, freely, to anyone who needs it. Because that's what Earth taught us. That survival isn't about being the strongest. It's about being there for each other when strength isn't enough. She paused, looking directly into the camera. To the galaxy watching, we're ready. Ready to work with you, learn from you, help you. We're not perfect. We're still learning. But we're committed to being good neighbors, good partners, good friends. Earth is no longer isolated. And we're grateful for the chance to prove we belong among the stars. As the broadcast ended, Patricia looked at Robert. Think we'll live up to that promise? We're humans, he replied with a grin. We survived Earth, we can handle anything. Outside, the celebrations continued into the night. Humans and aliens together, laughing, talking, planning futures that included everyone. The death world had become a bridge. The survivors had become family, and the galaxy was better for it.